Tom Schnittge from Dublin in Ireland, and I normally work in St James's Hospital in Dublin. My parents were German, but I grew up in Ireland and went to college there. And myself and Anne and my family have been here since last October in St Francis Hospital. It's something we've been planning on doing and thinking about doing for quite some time. For a variety of reasons. We've both enjoyed travelling a lot. We've travelled and worked in quite a few different countries throughout the world so far, but we've always had a yearning to see what it was like out here in Africa. And we've delayed it up to now because of family reasons and so on, but an opportunity presented itself this year. So we just arranged to take a sabbatical for a year, did some travelling before we came here, and then I've been here since October. Well, when we set about trying to organise coming to work in a third world country, we discovered it was a bit more difficult than we had imagined. First of all, most of the sort of aid organisations such as Médecins Sans Frontières want you for a minimum of 2 years, and we couldn't commit to that length of time. Also, we came out here with our 4 children. We wanted to go somewhere which was safe, secure, not in the middle of a civil war or whatever, and also that there would be a school or something close by. We approached 1 or 2 hospitals, but a big problem we found was getting them to reply to us. We emailed and phoned, but they were a bit slow in replying. And then we were close to giving up when we made contact with this hospital through a friend of ours who had been here as a medical student some years ago. And she put us in touch with Father Joe McMenamin, a priest who had been parish priest here in Katete. He had been on the board of the hospital, and he put us in touch with Dr. Sheila Parkinson, the medical director. And once we contacted her, the rest is history. I suppose professionally for me, it was good in that at home I'm a specialist. I work in anaesthesia 5 days a week. Here I'm doing that too, and it is quite challenging here because there's different equipment, different levels of monitoring, different drugs. Patients are sicker generally. But in addition to practicing anaesthesia here, I've been involved in the general medical clinics, which for me has been a voyage of relearning clinical skills and seeing diseases I've only read about in the past. So I found that to be very exciting and useful. Personally, I think too, something we found, we were a bit anxious coming out here with our family because we knew this is a type of life which is different to what we have at home. There's no television, no video games. The children wouldn't have their old friends here, so we knew there would be some difficulties, but it's worked out pretty well, I think. The absence of TV has meant more time for family games, for crafts, for drawing, for making things. Being able to walk to work in 2 minutes rather than commuting 45 minutes each way at home has given us an extra hour and a half a day. So, there's been a lot more sort of quality time for a simple family life here, which we've all appreciated. I think it's been difficult to, you realise people here are living very much on the edge, and when they get sick, they get pushed even closer to that edge in terms of both their sort of physical strength, but also their sort of social support. If somebody dies here and they happen to be the breadwinner, quite often the whole family may suffer and go down, whereas at home we have social security and the dole and assistance and so on. So I'm very conscious that, life is a lot more fragile here, and we do see a lot of very ill people and a lot of people who die, and it's very close up and very real. I've been more acutely aware of mortality all around me, which I suppose makes me more aware of my own mortality. And I suppose this makes me feel a bit uneasy because I'm not used to thinking about my own mortality. But I also have a feeling of gratitude that I am lucky I'm one of the 20% who live on the planet who have enough to eat and have a dry bed at night time, whereas 80% of the planet struggle every day for food and for shelter. One of the sort of interesting things I found here is it's very important not to judge Africa using Western eyes and Western standards. It's important to remember that even where there's a lot of poverty, that doesn't necessarily equate to misery. just as in the West we have lots of affluence, but that doesn't necessarily translate into happiness. And many times here, working in the clinic, you see a huge queue of people outside, and suddenly they'll spontaneously start singing or dancing, and you say to yourself, well, why are these people so happy? And they have little, but what little they have they enjoy, and that is again very humbling and very good.